morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got news about a lazy product that shouldn't exist, and the most popular Pokemon cards of last year. It's literally official. We have an actual, literal list of the most popular Pokemon cards of last year, and let's start there because it was published over on the official Japanese website, and it literally is the most searched Pokemon cards of 2023. Of every Pokemon card, which ones were searched the most times over on the official website, and some of these are kind of surprising and some of them aren't. So for instance, the number one was Gardevoir. And you look at that and you're like, yeah, you know what? Gardevoir probably is the most searched one. Because Gardevoir is super popular, but also a ridiculously good card. Seen a bunch of play, seen a bunch of success. And of course, it was from the initial Scarlet and Violet expansion. And this is pure guesswork on my part, but I feel pretty good about this. This was a Scarlet and Violet block. This was Scarlet and Violet 1. And as a side note, the first two are both from Scarlet and Violet 1, because that was a new block where more people were getting interested in the game and wanting to see the changes and all of that. So that, to me, makes perfect sense. I kind of get it. Awesome. And number two is basically the same. It's Miraidon EX. And sure, Miraidon isn't quite Gardevoir levels of popularity, but we are talking about a box legendary here. We're not talking some like random Pokemon. This is a box legendary, and it's from the Scarlet and Violet base set, and it's ridiculously good. It's got that ability that gets Pokemon out and a decent attack, and Miraidon's actually proven to be better than Gardevoir as a card. It just has. It's proven to be better. But then the rest of the list is all a little bit weird, if I'm honest with you. Like number 3, Mew EX, that I totally get. It's Mew, super popular, really playable EX. Okay, you got me. Now that's from 151, which again was a fantastically popular set. And it's another card of a good ability and a good attack. It draws cards, it copies attacks. It's really very, very good, alright? And it's popular. But then Shining Greninja at number 4? And like, don't get me wrong, Shining Greninja is a good card. But it's also kind of an old card. Like, that's not a card from this year. Like, we went up to Sword and Shield 12 and then moved into Scarlet and Violet, and we're up to Scarlet and Violet 4, and this was from Sword and Shield 9. Like, this was ages ago. Now, it's a really good card, don't get me wrong. It's the best Radiant Pokemon. Again, it draws cards and it's got a good attack. And Greninja's very popular. But Radiant Greninja, the 4th most searched card? It's weird to me. Chien-Pao comes in at number 5, which, I mean, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, but it's not exactly broken the metagame. It's been good, it's seen success, it is an absolutely viable deck, and I'm not saying for a second that it's not. And there's probably an element here that it's a new Pokemon, it's one of the treasures of Ruin, it was the first card, etc. But this still seems a little bit high for me. And then, coming in at number 6, Spiritomb. Spiritomb! Now, to be fair, it is a Spiritomb that turns off abilities of Pokemon V, and it really might be a case of everyone searching this just going, wait, what does it actually do? Is it actually that good? Like, it genuinely, legitimately might be a bunch of people searching it just going, oh, mate, that sounds really good, I need to check what that actually does. And then a bunch of people building decks going, hang on a second, do I need to go and put Spiritomb in here? Spiritomb's really good. Like, that is the best explanation I can give you of this, because frankly, Spiritomb seems way too high up on this list. I'm not buying it personally. This just seems, well, like I just said, way too high on this list. I mean, if you're asking me to sit and guess, I would have gotten a lot of cards before I'd have ended up at that one, trying to figure out which were the most searched of cards of the year. And then if we just round out the top 10 quickly, because I'd be really annoyed if some dude made a video and only did the top 6. Number 7 is the Sableye. The really good one in Lost Box decks that drops damage counters. Not a card from this year, but still one that sees a huge amount of play, so I understand it. Number 8 was Curlier, and if you imagine, this is Refinement Curlier that draws you a bunch of cards in Gardevoir decks. So if you're going to be playing Gardevoir, you need this Curlier. If Gardevoir's in at number 1, this makes sense. This would be in at number 8. In at number 9 is Giratina V-Star. Again, it's just a fantastically playable card. Sees a huge amount of play. I get it. And then in at number 10, we got Squawkabilly, which, I did my top 10 EXs the other day. I told you there was a strong argument for this being number 1, just because it's redonkulously playable. It's a crazy good card. So I kind of understand it, honestly. People searching for it. But then there's ones that really should be higher. Like Charizard EX from 151 is in at number 20, but the good one from Ruler of the Black Flame is in at 31? How are the Charizard not higher? They're super popular, and the one at number 31 is super duper playable. That's weird to me. You know what came in above Charizard? Regieleki VMAX. That isn't even good. Radiant Alakazam came in higher. Mewtwo V Union came in higher. Yeah, little bit weird. But those are the top 10 most searched cards on the website. And it's weird because they generally tend to be going for playability here. Generally speaking, what they're doing is going playability, and that makes perfect sense. This list is dominated a little bit by popular Pokemon, but really playability. And yet, in the middle of all that, the super playable Charizard comes in at number 31 in the most searched cards. I just had to get that out there. Also, I've got to point out, in at number 36 was Bidoof. Bidoof got in at number 36. It's a good one that stops it being attacked on or taking damage on the bench. I love that Bidoof was the 36th most searched card on the official Japanese website of the entire year. I don't really understand it, but I do kind of love it. But there is something else we need to talk about here, which we're going to put at the end of this video. Maybe next time I'll make a big ranty video. Today we can do it nice and quickly. There's a bunch of Greninja stuff that's been gone and revealed by Ultra Pro, and they're just... I think they probably are trying within the confines of what they've actually got. But come on. We've got a 9-pocket Pro Binder. We've got a playmat. We've got sleeves. And we got a deck box, all available, and it's literally just the Ken Sugimori stock Greninja artwork on a mostly blue background with some white, and there's some shuriken-looking things on there. Like the other day, I showed you the Alakazam playmat that Ultra Pro were doing, and I said, you know what? Actually, this is so much better than we usually see from them. And I was like, you know what? Let's give them a little bit of love. Because and at this point, it's super obvious that the license they've got from Pokemon to make these products only allows them to use the Ken Sugimori stock artwork. They're not doing new artwork. That is obvious at this point. But look at what they did with the Alakazam playmat. And I was like, you know what? They have done pretty well here. And then they've gone back to this. It's like a bit of blue and white with a couple of shuriken-looking things and the Greninja on it. I mean, come on. And look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There are going to be fans of Greninja out there who are going to look at this and go, I'm sorry, Wassy, I'm buying it. Because you know what? If this was Mamoswine, I quite like the Ken Sugimori stock artwork of Mamoswine. I think it's kind of awesome. If this was a Mamoswine set, I'd probably buy the lot. And I don't want to. And I like to think I would be sitting here making a video going, I don't care that it's Mamoswine. I'm still not buying it. But you know what? I think I probably would care if it was Mamoswine. And I probably would buy it. I really hope, I know they're not going to, right? They're not going to do a Mamoswine. But if they ever did do a Mamoswine, I am a little bit curious to see how I'd think about it. Because the fact of the matter is, if Greninja is your favourite Pokemon, you're probably looking at this and going, you know what, Wassy? You're right. These aren't the best products I've ever seen. But it's a playmat, sleeves, deck box, and portfolio, all featuring my favourite Pokemon, and they all match. Like, there was an amazing Greninja playmat, etc. in Korea the other day, and it really was just like a week or two ago I showed you this. That's amazing. In Korea. And we had these lovely Midnight Agent sleeves in Japan. And we had these Greninja sleeves in July last year in Japan. And then we had this Greninja stuff that came around. Well, let me just check the date when I actually found this. So these, I've got these images saved. I'll save all of these just on the off chance, just in case I ever need to refer back to them. And these were revealed in February 2022, almost 2 years ago. So yeah, we've had a bunch of really cool Greninja stuff a while ago in other countries, and then the new stuff in Korea, which is not easy to get hold of because you kind of have to go to Korea. And for Greninja fans, this is pretty good. And I'm still not saying this is good, right? I'm still not saying that these are good products. I still think that compared to the stuff they're getting in Japan, etc., and some of the stuff we get on the Pokemon Center, this is terrible. But I do admit that there are going to be some fans of Greninja out there who are looking at this and going, sorry, mate, love it. Absolutely love it. Right, that's what you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's over to you guys. What were your most searched Pokemon cards this year? What cards were you thinking about, and what do you think about all this Greninja stuff? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and other card games and other Pokemon stuff. It's a lot of fun over there. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts. It's also a lot of fun over there. And you can get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Austin Montville, who's been a supporter of ours for a while and is awesome. So shout out to them for the support and the awesomeness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.